On October 27th, 2023, Taylor Swift released 1989 Taylor's Version, a re-recording of her 2014 most awarded pop album ever at the time, 1989. Taylor Swift is known for her eras, meaning each album has a distinct color scheme, energy, vibe with specific motifs, street style, and public image.
I said, welcome to New York. It's been waiting for you.
Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dion and you might have noticed different background, the spooky decorations are gone. I didn't re-put up those curtains. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll just keep it like this. Who knows? Today, as you can see from the title, we are doing a style aesthetic video on the 1989 album by Taylor Swift. Listen, I make a lot of Taylor Swift videos. I've done album rankings, I've done outfits as songs, I've done a Midnight's era aesthetic, I've done an August Girl aesthetic. I mean, I love her. Whatever, I'm not going to apologize for loving her. 1989 came out October of my freshman year of college. Like I remember watching the Blank Space music video in shock and then like strutting to class. So I mean, as always, every Taylor Swift album is near and dear to my heart. So if you like fashion and aesthetics and all of that, then definitely make sure to subscribe to my channel because I post videos every Thursday. And with that, let's get into it.
There's one thing you should know about me before we begin. I was born in 1989.
So for this aesthetic, I wanted to talk about the original 1989 aesthetic and what that meant and what was going on at the time, what it looked like, and then also what her release looked like. Because she often likes to give clues of her eras or her just kind of like what she's going through from her outfits. Also, I clipped my hair into a bob because she had an iconic bob at this time. So I thought it was important to add that in. If you want to know more about like the context of 1989 or anything Taylor Swift related, I would highly recommend going to Ali Sheehan. She's like the kind of our resident Swiftie expert, you know, like in the Swiftie community, she's sort of like our Bill Gates, our who's an innovator, Marie Curie, our Nobel Peace Prize winner. Yeah, she did a whole video on 1989 prior to the Taylor's version coming out, and she did a whole reaction to it and analyzing the songs and stuff. So all that information is there. This is just gonna be a little brief context for people who may just know the album but not really know like what was going on. If any of you guys comment like, oh, you actually look good in a bob. No, I don't. I had a bob in 2018 and it was just high maintenance. Like I had my hair in a half up, half down. I have so much hair. It's so thick and it's naturally very voluminous. So that's just like, and it's kind of wavy. So it's just not conducive to a bob. That's not bob, easy bob maintenance hair.
If they call me a slut.
So for context, she lost the Album of the Year Grammy for Red, she left Nashville for New York, she made a pact to stop dating, and she decided to reinvent herself and her sound to full-blown pop. This was the most public Taylor Swift has ever been. She did 2 Victoria's Secret fashion shows. She had an entire famous girl squad. She was a certified celebrity after 4 albums. And at this time, the media really decided to make her the butt of the joke. It was always a headline or a smartass quip or something about her dating life. From Saturday Night Live to CNN to People to Ellen, there was always a joke. And she got very fed up with that and really decided to publicly start displaying her girlfriends and celebrating life and writing songs about being happy and just enjoying being single because she was tired of all the slut shaming. So she went a little bit more private with her dating life. Like it was her most public era, I would say, but it was more about her girlfriends and her tour, the whole like carousel of boys thing. The references of why people were so angry about it in 2014 was because of like the Red era. So like from her beginning career to 2014, people were just like, oh, all she writes about are boys and that kind of thing. And so during the 1989 era, she was sort of getting backlash for her previous era or previous relationships. So at the time she was more reflecting on past relationships and a happy life. Like, it's okay that that ended, and that really reflected in her style. I know that's kind of a lot of context, but her happiness and freedom and confidence is like really reflected in her style. The aesthetic of 2014 is something I've touched on in like my hipster video, my twee video, but it's a lot of like circle skirts, graphic tees, knee socks, twee influences like saddle shoes, but shifting into like a cooler era of boots and Ray-Ban Wayfarers and band tees. For the world tour, she did a lot of sequins and like sparkly dresses, which are definitely a mainstay of hers. Like, she always is sparkly. But the shorts got shorter. Like, she had these, like that classic high-waisted, super short that we all wore in like 2014. And she did a lot of two-piece sets. I would say like the 1989 World Tour, like looking back on it, respectfully, it kind of gives me like Forever 21, New Year's Eve collection 2014. All the metallic circle skirts and the sequin bomber jackets and like the crisscross tops. It felt very accessible. That's not a read, it's just like, that's just what the time was. You know, this was peak Urban Outfitters Forever 21 time period.
I swear she's destined for the screen.
So for the Taylor's version release, people have been asking, is 1989 truly a beach album or a city album? Because she uses a lot of city motifs like the seagull sweatshirt, but a lot of the references are New York, and she was living in New York at the time, and a lot of the imagery she uses is in New York. So that's always sort of been a toss-up. I'd like to say that New York is in fact an island with beaches, so like it can be both. One could argue her street style during this release is very similar to the 1989 era, but more modified, because she does like to inform her album releases with coordinating outfits. But I also feel like this is very much a 2023 version of how Taylor has always dressed. She loves like a twee, hipster, academic, like she is a millennial, so she has like that energy to her as well in her style. So for me, it could just be like her personal style. Some people are gonna think they're Easter eggs for Reputation Taylor's version, re-recording, that's like a whole thing. But regardless, she's been dressing very academic, but switching the circle skirts for pleated skirts, the bomber jackets for wool coats, and there's still a lot of riding boots, which is definitely one big similarity from 2014. This also makes sense because fashion does repeat itself, and this is 10 years after the release of 1989, so it makes sense that the style has sort of like come back a little bit. Her 1989 portion of the Eras Tour also features a sparkly two-piece set, affirming it in the current and former aesthetic. Like, she definitely paid homage, and it's a little bit more updated than the two-piece sets of 2014. And her background dancers did a super 2014 pale soft grunge, like black and white gray outfits, definitely representing a lot of her street style at the time. Alrighty, now that I've given you 10 minutes of context, I am going to talk about the breakdown of the aesthetic like I always do in my aesthetic videos. So the colors are blues, specifically like aquas and oceany blues, lots of sky blue, sandy beiges, and then like bright white, black, and red combinations, black, white, gray, a lot of monochrome, and then pops of purple and maroon and silver. Those were very popular colors at the time, like metallic and galaxy was everywhere. Icons in the aesthetic are Wayfarers, Red Lips, Tumblr fashion, pale soft grunge, band tees, Urban Outfitters, like just very much this energy, this picture energy. The likes of the 1989 person, if this album was a person, are late nights, girl groups, being single, dancing. They hang out in New York City streets during the week, beaches during the weekends in the summer, sleepovers at friends' houses, clubs and parties and concerts. The essentials of the 1989 album aesthetic are miniskirts, specifically circle skirts, plaid, pleated, and skater skirts, lots of tomboy tops like rugby shirts, oversized sweaters, band tees, bomber jackets, obviously, like I said, two-piece sets, rompers, and short shorts. Shoes tend to be tall boots, combat boots, heeled Oxfords, and like city sneakers. I feel like at the time, it was very much Keds or Converse in 2014, but I feel like an updated version would be like beat up like white Air Force Ones kind of thing. Favorite accessories, like I said, Wayfarer sunglasses. I can't say that enough. It is a key staple of this aesthetic and of 2014, 2012 fashion. Lots of sparkles and sequins, as always, with Miss Taylor. Knee socks and tights. She's always loved that, but I feel like this was really specific in the 1989 era. And medium-sized handbags, which I know is like a weirdly specific thing, but it's not like these oversized hobo bags that we've seen previously. It's not like teeny tiny bags. It's like these just like I don't know, medium-sized handbags. You'll see in the videos. You'll understand what I'm saying. Okay, so in terms of getting the look for the 1989 aesthetic, I feel like there's two specific styles, and I've kind of already touched on that. There's the street style and then the concert tour style. Concert tour style is very easy if you want to do it for a dress up or for Eras tour or something. Again, two-piece sets, sequin crop tops, sparkly metallic skater skirts, and bomber jackets. It's a very easy aesthetic to accomplish. If you pair that, like a two-piece sparkly set with like a red lip, a bob, and Wayfarers, everyone's gonna know you're 1989. For the street style, it's more academic, so you wanna start with like a mini skirt of your choosing and then a more slouchy or oversized top, and adding more androgynous touches to your outfits like baseball cap, again, band tees or oversized jackets. Graphic tees are also a big throwback moment, like a little graphic baby tee or muscle tee with a plaid skirt, tights, and boots. Beautiful. And once again, sunglasses and a red lip are a must. So this is a very easy aesthetic to find in your closet. I feel like most of us have these things. I mean, we all have like black and white clothing. It's more just like putting it together in that sort of 2014 way. And if you did want to like really accomplish this aesthetic, I feel like going to the thrift store is perfect, especially at this time since the first leg of the US Eras Tour is over and Halloween is over, where I feel like a lot of people dressed up like Taylor Swift. There's going to be so many sparkly things at the thrift store, and the thrift stores will be bringing out their New Year's Eve stuff soon as well, like their holiday stuff, which tends to be more sparkly. So yeah, very, very easy. No need to go on Amazon, no need to go on Shein. You can definitely do the 1989 aesthetic in your own closet or like thrifting it if you have to. It's just it's very specific. It's in like the very specific touches, but again, a mini skirt with some Wayfarers, a red lip, and some sort of like 2014 graphic tee, and you will be... I forgot to also mention this during like the beach portion or whatever, but I feel like when you look up 1989 aesthetic, you see these soft ocean blues and these like linen pants, very like coastal grandmother, which I've done a video on, and it's pretty a simple aesthetic in terms of like linens and light blues, but you don't actually see Taylor dress like that in either time. Yeah, you'll see in a lot of the mood boards that it's very beachy or it's very like light blues, coastal granddaughter style, but I feel like that's not necessarily accurate, but that's what people made the mood boards for, and I like to include everyone's opinions on what an aesthetic looks like. So alrighty, so with that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know down below what else you'd like to see in November. I always have like a list going, and I always hear your recommendations. I do have I write them down and then sort of narrow them down from what makes sense in the month, but let me know. Always taking new ideas. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram because I've been posting content there more frequently, and definitely give 1989 Taylor's version a listen. I actually dressed up like Slut Taylor's version for Halloween. I don't think a lot of people got the joke, but that's like the story of my life, me thinking I'm funny with like my Halloween costume and being like, so you wrote slut on your chest and that's it? And I'm like, it's Slut Taylor's version. Like what do you mean? And obviously, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you did like it, and subscribe to this channel because I post videos every Thursday. And with that, have a happy, happy day. Bye.